Alright, so this is a video explaining 1366 by 768 vendor measuring. Not full screen, so it's by 697. But, so what you want to do is you throw your eye vendor, right? You go to 31 FOV, low sensitivity, and then you do your measuring things. And I personally use Windows Magnifier to magnify my eye vendor. Just remember to disable the smooth and edges around text setting if you are as well. And you get your F3C, and then now you can't measure your eye vendor the same way that 1080p users do. So 1080p users, they have their cursor, their crosshair aligned here, and then when they press F3 escape, their cursor is here. So what that does is that their crosshair and cursor converge at this point, which is why they can do the right side of the crosshair lines up with the left side of the pupil setup. But on 1366 by 768, you can't do that. This is what your lineup has to be. So that will result in the cursor being in the same spot relative to the eye vendor. But you have to have your crosshair over here. So like half of your crosshair should be on the pupil, and then the other half should be on this pixel. Now in terms of adjustments, there are 5 possible ways that you can line it up this way, where half of it's here, half of it's there. There's 5 possible ways the pixels can look, 4 of which are distinguishable. So if your left pixel, so that one right there, if the left one is thin, you add 0.02 of a degree. If they're all the same, you either have to add 1 or it's perfect. And they're not very distinguishable, so I wouldn't count too much on that. Or if I did get this, I would like try and move out the way, or like move my cursor to get a different lineup. If my right pixel is thin, you subtract 1/100th of a degree, and if it's a middle thin, you subtract 2/100ths of a degree. And then optionally, you can, if it's flickering between 2 values, or like 2 possible things, you can subtract like 1.5 hundredths of a degree. For example, if it was flickering between right thin and middle thin, you could subtract 1.5. It's not very good, or like it's useless information pretty much, unless you're using like more than 2 decimal points. And the way that you can use more than 2 decimal points is with boat eye. So what you do is you'd like BS a value into ninjabrain bot. So you'd BS an angle into ninjabrain bot, right? So as long as that said angle is like some multiple of 1.40625, you BS that. So while you have blue boat going into green boat, you give it that angle. And then what you do is you throw your eye and measure it, and then you'd have your ninjabrain bot height, your boat eye height, to be 6,144. So then you measure, and then when you do your subtraction or addition, like when you do your adjustments, you would adjust twice as much, like twice as many key presses. So this would be 4 key presses, and then this would be 2 key presses, right, for your subtraction key, because you'd be subtracting 0.005 each time. But if it was flickering between these two, you would be able to you'd be able to do 3 key presses, and then it would be a more precise adjustment. And the reason why this works is because if you place a boat facing 0, 0, or not facing 0, 0, facing a 0 degree angle. Can we work this out? No, let's lock in. No, that did. Okay, but if it was facing 0 degree, Yeah, if it was facing 0 degrees. If you go change your sensitivity to on, you can get all of 36,002 decimal point F3Cs from spinning and then pressing F3C. You can get them all. So as long as your sensitivity value you're using is yawn, you can do the flicker thing. And also your also remember to change your standard deviation in the boat eye settings to like whatever you're using. I personally use 0.005, but yeah, just change it to something. It should be between 0.005 and 0.008. Yeah. That's the end of the video. That is not the end record button.